But before that, let's get an update on today's big political news, the reshuffle, of course, with our chief political commentator, Peter Cardwell. Good morning to you, Peter.
Good morning, Julia.
I mean, extraordinary day, it really is. What I find most extraordinary is the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, basically said this protest that's going to take place, this pro-Palestinian protest on Saturday that's going to take place, is going to cause disorder. The anti-Semitic chants, the flags, the insignia, is going to provoke action. I think it should be banned. The Prime Minister called in Sir Mark Rowley, the Met Chief, and said he thought that the protest should be banned. She wrote an article, did not get it signed off by Number 10. Yes, clearly that was not acceptable. The protest went ahead. It was exactly as she has predicted it was. She was completely and utterly proved right. And now she's been sacked. This is effectively your house being on fire and the person who shouts, fire, fire, has been sacked and been criticised instead of the person who set the house on fire in the first place. What on earth is going on?
It's an extraordinary political development that she has been sacked. It is absolutely fascinating to see what has happened in the last few minutes with David Cameron becoming Foreign Secretary, but on Suella Braverman particularly, whatever Rishi Sunak did with her, however he either kept her in the role, moved her or attempted to move her to a different position within the cabinet, I imagine she would have strongly resisted that, or sacked her, which is the course of action he has taken. None of those moves was going to go well for him, and sacking her is a pretty nuclear option. It now allows her a lot more time to oppose him and to be running essentially her campaign, which has been going on for a while, to be the next leader of the Conservative Party. But there will be many, many people who think that she has been proven exactly right in what she predicted and that Rishi Sunak is wrong to do this today. It is a huge political risk for Rishi Sunak to do. It's an extraordinary thing. And I think we will, I'm sure, hear a lot more for her. And now she's completely off the leash.
Yeah,
Any control that he had on her is gone.
She's written a statement saying, it has been the great privilege of my life to serve as Home Secretary. I will have more to say in due course. I'm very much sure that she will. Let's talk about who else has moved, what we know so far, because this is an extensive reshuffle. Often in recent years, reshuffles have been sort of either a last-minute emergency, like Jeremy Hunt coming in after Kwasi Kwarteng was sacked. Well, Jeremy Hunt, we know, by the way, is staying as Chancellor. You know, so the one person you know needs to be moved, definitely staying in his job, unsackable, it would appear. But often it's just sort of a bunch of junior ministers who, frankly, no one's even heard of. Most of their parents didn't know they were in the cabinet or the shadow cabinet or whatever. But we are seeing James Cleverly move from Foreign Secretary to Home Secretary. He won't want to do that. Foreign Secretary has done him very well, hasn't he? He's a very popular, most popular member of the cabinet, according to members of the Conservative Party right now. Home Secretaries often aren't. He's being given a dud deal, isn't he?
It's a very tough job, and Foreign Secretary is quite a nice job. And of course, James Cleverly, as you say, topped the poll of Conservative Home, the sort of Bible website of Conservative Party members for the first time in the last few weeks. Home Secretary, very, very difficult job. Also following Suella Braverman into that, difficult for him. And David Cameron as the new Foreign Secretary, extraordinary return for him. He had said previously that he quite fancied the role, but lots of people say those things, they'd like a return to politics. Former Prime Minister as Foreign Secretary, it's extraordinary. I expect he will go to the House of Lords very, very soon, and that will happen. So really extraordinary political developments in the last few minutes. And as you say, a number of junior people going. Nick Gibb, who's been the schools minister for most of the last 10 years or so on and off, a long-serving minister, but pretty low profile. Also another fairly low-profile minister called Neil O'Brien, he's gone. But you're absolutely right, Julia. This is an extensive reshuffle. We're going to see many more changes. And the team at the top, Jeremy Hunt staying, but two of the big four roles have changed today.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I think there's some news about Theresa Coffey and whether or not she's going to be out. Yes, she's been seen entering Number 10. She, of course, big ally of Liz Truss. But again, not seen as a very effective minister. Bad news about Nick Gibb leaving, actually, because Nick Gibb's actually a very effective schools minister. Neil O'Brien, disgusting human being, glad he's out. He's someone who set up a website to smear politicians, journalists, politicians and scientists for questioning lockdown. He has no business being in our democracy whatsoever, so good riddance to him. But I think you're right, the most extraordinary story today really is David Cameron's extraordinary return to frontline politics. We'll come back to you later in the show. Any more developments on that? Peter Cardwell, our political commentator, thank you so much indeed for joining us.